and I put it on my chest, and I don't know why, but I did. And I felt like my body started vibrating and shifting, and I said, this really works. Welcome, my beautiful people. I always say hello to you guys because guess what? It is the middle of the week. It is Wednesday, and I am so grateful that you are here with me because I feel like I always have amazing guests, and another amazing guest is who I'm going to introduce. His name is Michel AERTS. He was born in 1957 in France. He is an autodidact and early globetrotter. He is also an advanced sailorman and built 4 of his own sailing ships to go around the world. After years of traveling, he finally settled in the US in the 80s to choose a spiritual path, became a yoga teacher and polarity therapist in Southern California. Passionate about microbiology and cellular communication, he created several companies in France and Madagascar in environmental microbiology. Scientific consultant. Today, he helps innovative companies in the biohacking industry. And today, Michel is with us to talk about an amazing topic that seems to be very trending, and that is EMF and what that means and how to protect yourself, how to block out that exposure, because today we're becoming very sensitive to EMF, radiation, smog, and it's not going anywhere. We have wireless everything, we have internet, we have 5G coming up. So he is going to talk to us about an amazing company called Comosystems, and I happen to find it to be an amazing company, and I think it is the most revolutionary thing that there is. Not only do I love it, not only does it protect me against EMF, but also you don't need to plug it in anything. It's wireless, it lasts a lifetime, it's also beautifully designed. So without further ado, I am going to be welcoming Michel. Welcome, Michel. How are you today?
Well, I'm just great. It's nice and sunny here in France.
Well, thank you for being here with us. We are so excited to have you here on the podcast talking about such an important topic, which is EMF. And let's just get started. What is EMF and how did you get into it?
I have a historical personal experience. I used to live in the USA and I was a yoga teacher teaching pranayama and meditation. And I got interested into a type of therapy which is called polarity therapy and craniosacral. So people can say, well, that's new age stuff, but you will see it's very linked to my interest into EMF. So the technology, I mean, let's say the therapy consists on working with the hands on an energy level, on a network of, it's called the fascia. It means all your body is interconnected, starting from the brain to your feet, and you have what we call the cerebrospinal fluid. It's a fluid that goes from your brain along your spine, and it can go all the way down to every place in your body, the muscles. It's called the fascia. So it's a liquid which is a little bit like a gel-like. And when we work on it, we try to, there is like a circulation, a flow that is supposed to be balanced. We try to feel the pulse and see if there is a problem with the balance. So most of the time, people who would come and see us for therapy are people who will come complaining for an injury or a pain somewhere in the body, and they don't really know what to expect. They don't know what it is. And in most cases, these are people who have experienced traumatic experiences. So it can be all kind of traumatic experience. It can be like a criminal attack, an aggression, or something extremely shocking. It can be sexual abuse. We have lots of these cases. And what we try to do is most of these people have all their memories of the trauma that disappeared from their awareness, which means they don't know something went wrong. They just feel the pain. So when we put our hands on the body, we try to have this flow come back, and as it comes back, something very strange happen is suddenly they re-experience the past trauma, which means they were not aware at all, and suddenly you are just your hands on the body, they start to cry and to talk. So we know the explanation of what is happening. What is happening is these people have been put in front of something that is too big for what they can stand. You know, most of the time they were young, not adults, and the trauma is so big that the body, to protect you, it will record all the experience and enclose it and hide it somewhere in your body. So it means it will erase from your memory. You will not remember the trauma. If it's a car that has hit you, you will never remember the car that hit you. If it's somebody who aggressed you, you will not remember somebody aggressed you. Physically, what is happening is all the information, in fact, is encoded in this fluid that goes along our spine and our fascia, and it will get stuck somewhere. Let's say it's stuck in your feet or on your knees or on your lumps, and you feel pain all the time. You know there is a problem here. You don't know what it is. When we work on it, in fact, all this information that was stored and you did not have access to it goes back into your fluid and goes back to the brain. And then you have a sort of hallucination. You're going to revive the trauma and have a total vivid experience of the trauma. So, of course, people are in state of shock because they have to adjust emotionally to this. But to make the link with EMF and why I was interested into EMF is that I realized that information and memories was not only a question of a little place, you know, a storage in your brain. In fact, it can be placed in your body, in the fluids of your body. Your brain is like the computer. The memory, in fact, is in the fluid. So that means something very important. In this fluid, which is watery, it's gel-like, in fact, there is stored information. And this is a whole brand. In that time, we were not explained this scientifically. We were told it's energy, like acupuncture. But I discovered that some scientists have clearly analyzed what was happening. The water in our body have different phases. It means it can be like water, or it can start to be denser and becomes like gel, and it has properties to keep memory. So you have heard about water memory. There is a big issue. Nobel Prize Luc Montagnier has proved it, that water could have memory. So that's where I got interested.
You're talking about water memory and all these things that were kind of esoteric, right? They were esoteric a long time ago, and there wasn't enough science to talk about these things. But now we know that there is science behind energy and water and physics and quantum physics and all these different scientists that were talking about water. And we are made up of water. So it makes sense that we're trying to link back the EMF, the radiation, to all these kinds of studies with water. We are water. So if we're water, we have these emotions, these imprints, we store things, and not just emotions, but even technology. I believe that we can do that. So I don't know, what do you think about that?
Let's say the main large advance has been discovered by a famous scientist called Professor Martin Park from Washington University. He realized that our cells communicate with the outside in two ways. Our cells have what we call ion channels. Ion channels are the little doors of a cell that can let go inside or outside ions. So for instance, if you have a cell, outside the cell you will have a high concentration of calcium, magnesium, which are triggers of lots of biological cascades. So it's very important. Most of the ion channels react to chemical reaction, and this we cannot change it. There is no variability. But there is another kind of ion channel which is of very high interest, and we call them voltage-gated ion channels. And what it means, these ion channels react to the smallest electrical impulse. For this, we call them voltage-gated ion channels because they will react to any change in the electrical intensity. So people would think, let's say a signal coming from my cell phone cannot really change something in my cell. But in fact, what this scientist discovered is that the threshold of reaction of these voltage-gated ion channels is 7 million times smaller than the actual limits. So, so you can imagine that, of course, it means clearly a cell phone can send signals that are 7 million times stronger than what our cells can react to. So obviously there is a biological reaction. So all this is linked to what I was talking at the beginning, is in the cells you have a bilipidic layer and with a liquid inside. And this liquid inside, there is a tremendous tension inside, and the smallest change will make our ion channels change the concentration. These ions also concentration have a direct relation with hormones, because for instance an increase or decrease in calcium concentration can change melatonin production, which relates to sleep, but melatonin relates also to cortisol. Cortisol relates to a whole range of hormones, and hormones relates to, as you know, for women, lots of production of glands for the skin, so it is directly related.
This is so new. We have, in the last 50 years, changed so much with technology. We didn't have these laptops, these cell phones, these iPads, GPS. I mean, you name it.
If you just look at diabetes, for instance, we have noticed that the increase of number of diabetic people follow exactly the same line, a vertical line of the expansion of cellular phones. I mean, it's exactly the same line. They go both together. I have personally written a long article where I have make converge about 400 studies on diabetes linked to EMF, and there is absolutely no, it's an absolute evidence. Diabetes is linked to electrosmog.
Wow, I'm definitely gonna put that in the show notes and link it here so that we can take a look at that, because that would be a game changer for so many people. And like, I'm gonna just quickly show it because I can't wait. But like, if you guys look at the video, I have here one of the CMO MF04 Harmony. And like this little thing that you don't have to plug into anything, you just put it there, can potentially help you and your family live a better life. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you and potentially help thousands, if not millions of people improve their health with one of these things at a time. How cool is that?
Yes, so when you show it, people can think, wow, that looks beautiful, it's almost magical because there is no electric plug, and people can think, how can it link to our body? This is not an antenna, it is not producing like a radiation, this is EMF free. But inside, what you have is, you have what we call an aqueous solution. It's like water that have been charged electromagnetically. But in fact, it is not this item that talks to our body. It is our body that have developed a skill since the beginning of evolution. Our cells use a technique called stochastic resonance. And some animals use that, and we use it in photography and in sound. And the principle is to add noise to hear something you could not hear normally. So your body, your cells, have like antennas. They are aware of radiation because we were born among radiation, the Earth radiation, the solar radiation, what we call the Schumann resonance, which is atmospheric radiation coming from lightnings, etc., which are very important. And we use this natural radiation to tune our body. So in fact, our cells use stochastic resonance. They will send little electromagnetic sounds among a very noisy environment, which we call the background noise, in order to hear the smallest interesting signal, which means the cells have developed a skill to look for interesting signals, signals that carry information that could be good for the health. So what happens is when our cells start to sense this information here, they will work as a feedback loop. They will test it, try it on the body. If it does good to the body, they will adjust the threshold and it will start to self-tune on the frequency of this item. So that's why sometimes people say, well, it does not, for some people who are not very sensitive, it does not work immediately, not the first minute. It can take 3-4 days, some people 2 weeks. And I explain to them it is their own biological system of stochastic resonance that is self-adjusting to hear well the frequency carrying the information. And inside, of course, what's inside? Information to teach to your cell not to listen to the artificial electromagnetic field who are unbalancing your ion concentration.
This is very helpful because, as I told you earlier, as soon as I got this, I was waiting for this in the mail. Every day I was checking because I was so excited. And as soon as I got it, I held, so I have the one that you take with you. And right away, you put it on me. And then I got the MF04 Harmony, and I put it on my chest. And I don't know why, but I did. And I felt like my body started vibrating and shifting, and I said, this really worked. How come I felt it like so quickly?
First, you have put it on your heart, and your heart is the biggest electromagnetic field your body is emitting, you know. After comes the brain, and after the rest of the body. Surely, you have tuned both of them. And the body is intelligent, you know. It recognizes immediately when information is helping you, and most likely it's what you have felt. And it is difficult, for instance, if you have a disease and you take a pill, it will not heal you instantly, it takes time. But in this case, I have talked to you the other day about a friend of mine who is a Canadian coach, and she told me, do you know, Michel, I have seen so many technologies, she don't believe in too much things. She told me, well, send me a product, I will test it, and I have one rule. If my Oura ring tells me it's good, it's good. If it doesn't react, that means your product does not work. So, okay, I send her the product, and for people who don't know, Oura ring is a device, a little ring, in fact, that will test your heart rate variability, which is a way to assume if your central nervous system is in a state of balance. If you are stressed, immediately you see it. But it's a good reflection of your state of balance. She told me, wow, Michel, within 2 or 3 days, all our numbers went skyrocketing. The difficulty is to prove a biological effect by real science. You have to make studies, and studies is not something easy. You must have a team of scientists, of experts. You must make an experiment with double blind, etc. It's a very slow process, long process, expensive process, and at the end you are reviewed by peers, which means scientists of the same level, same expertise, will verify that your experiments were sound and scientific before they authorize you to publish in peer-reviewed papers, in scientific publication journals, which is today the only way to have, for instance, a new medicament accepted. If you don't have peer-reviewed publication, you will never get a FDA agreement or whatsoever. We are the only one who spent 10 years of investing really from our pocket with no help on proving we have biological proof. We first had to measure how does EMF impact you at the biological level. So we had to measure your calcium concentration because we know, as I explained before, how calcium can affect many biological things.
Yes.
But we had to assume your level of inflammation and oxidation. So we measured nitric oxide. We had to measure do you still produce enough neurons, like for disease like Alzheimer's, etc. Which means when you have this item in your house, it's as if you live free of EMF, in fact, free of EMF impacts.
And I will say, I also have an aura ring. I'm showing it here, and I struggle with sleep. You and I had a different conversation about trauma and some of the trauma that I've experienced. And so I have like major insomnia, and I don't get enough deep sleep. My deep sleep is like 10 to 12 minutes a night on a good night. Also, I have to add, I wake up about 5 to 7 times a night to use the restroom. Is just probably like my nerves. And I will tell you this, the first night I slept through the whole night. I didn't even move. And because I didn't move, my neck was sore for 2 days because I just was like a log. And my aura ring, the numbers literally doubled. I got 40 minutes of REM sleep. I got an hour and a half of deep sleep from 15 minutes to an hour and a half in one night.
What you tell me does not surprise me at all. Sleep is maybe the first factor that people see immediately. I met with a person years ago, a Canadian biohacker, who decided he was interested in this technology, was thinking maybe he would like to distribute it, and I sent him samples. He called me, told me, Michel, there is 10 years I have not slept one full night. He told me it's a miracle. So I don't like to talk about miracles, but we have so many testimonies of people who say, thank you, because sleep was a big issue. And you know, sleep is really an important matter because you know it's during sleep that most of the repair of the body happen, and it is essential for our lives.
So I also wanted to add before we go back, I mean, you and I can talk for hours. But before we go, we digress to get back to the podcast. I wanted to add something. So I suffer from major inflammation
Yeah.
and allergies. And since I've had this, my allergies have gone significantly down, and it's very surprising, but not surprising. And I feel like my inflammation is slowly subsiding. So I have gone down 7 pounds without doing anything.
So it makes sense because, first of all, this technology helps to reduce free radicals, which generate inflammation. It reduces nitric oxide, which is also a way to oxidize the body. And regarding allergies, it's a point that I really want to insist on, is people don't always understand that allergy is a holistic problem. We call it multiple chemical sensitivity. It means when you develop a sensitivity to an outside aggressor, it can be chemicals, it can be endocrine disturbers, it can be electrosmog, it can be gluten, whatever it. They all relate. Your body becomes more and more sensible, and each time you fix one problem, if you lower your gluten allergy, suddenly your electromagnetic allergy will lower also. So our scientific director, Dr. Marco Paya, is specialized in this domain. There is years he teaches multiple chemical sensitivity has to be taken as a whole. You must work on all the aspects. So if you want to heal completely your allergy to electrosmog, take a look at all the allergies. But whatever is the one you work on, it will help all the others automatically. So that explains what is happening to you. If you take care of electrosmog, it will help you on the other allergies. I'm not sure I made it clear, but it is called MCS, multiple chemical sensitivity. That
No,
includes electrosmog, of course.
very clear, very great, and very interesting because I haven't had this for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the change is, I mean, incredible. So let's take it back and let's take it back to beauty, right?
Yeah.
And women. And let's draw the connection between, I know we touched on hormones and we talked about how your ions in your cells impact and even swelling and inflammation, right? So, how is beauty, um, EMF related to beauty, in your opinion, and fertility and just vibrancy?
So, first of all, beauty is perfection and perfection is balance. So, you must have an equilibrium to find some beauty most of the time. But what I think, what is very important is today we are at a turning point. Everybody who watches TV or reads a newspaper was stuffed with information that our awareness has to change. We are really at a turning point where pollution, all the ecological threats, we have to change our habits. It's really a big time of awareness, and we have to become true to ourselves. 10 years ago, we had some credit. We could still play games, etc. And let's say, I would say that cosmetics and makeups was still a facade a little bit. Today, we cannot fool ourselves. If we want to be beautiful, we have to be beautiful in a holistic manner. So I think the skin reflects your body, but you have to take care of your inner beauty. And I don't think a person who is suffering illnesses or chronic pain can reflect beauty. And that's why there is a biological link between EMF, hormones, and the skin. I read a few days ago a blog on diabetic who were talking about their problem with beauty. And they say, of course we have an issue with beauty, because they have problems with being too big, and
Right.
and they have to be very careful with the makeup they use, because some can interact with their glucose, and they really had a beauty issue. And I think any pathology doesn't make you look good anyway. So I really think that if you want, for me, cosmetics and beauty, yes, it's what the mirror show you, but it must be a reflection of your inside equilibrium and balance. And if you don't even care about how you adapt to the environmental stress, you did not do the job really. I think today you must have awareness, you must be responsible. We live among radiation, which is, our body is not built for that. It's too much radiation, and it's growing every day. And you have to do something about it. And it will, if you do, it will reflect on your radiation. It will show on your face. I have no doubt about it. And I want to make a little point, but you talk about the skin. Something very important. You have heard about 5G, of course.
Yes.
5G relates to millimeter waves. So people must understand the size of the waves is very important. If you hear millimeter waves, it means these waves will resonate with everything small of the size of millimeters. So the first place in your body that millimeter waves will hit is your skin. Most likely you will have skin burns. What people don't understand, they think we are already in 5G. No, we are not in 5G. Today it's a kind of upgraded 4G. But when they will have fully developed the 5G, it means when you will have tiny antennas everywhere in the urban furniture, in the streets, they must have antennas all over. And when the Internet of Things will be on, it means when your vacuum cleaner, your dishwasher will send information to your telephone, etc., there will be so much radiation that, yes, at this time, your skin, which is your face, which is your beauty, will be aggressed. And if your uh, inside homeostasis is not balanced, then you will hurt from this radiation. But I think if you have previously used our technology, your homeostasis, which is your capacity to, to adjust the production of your ions, will be strong enough to allow you to adjust to this type of environmental stress.
I love that you spoke about beauty. Beauty is balance and your body being in an equilibrium state. So I've never heard anyone say that before. And I love that because it's so true. It's not what society, because we know, right? Every 10 years, society dictates this is what beauty is like. And then next 10 years, it's a whole different person, different features, different hair color, different size. So I love that you said it's simple, it's balance.
And I think
So
people want to become more real, more true to themselves. And I think beauty and cosmetics must exist. They are good things, but they must serve you. You must be beautiful inside, and it helps you to be even more beautiful. But it's not. It cannot be a facade to hide, your stress or your. So that's why I think you radiate your inner beauty, and our technology helps you on several levels to find this equilibrium.
I want women in particularly, yes, men too, but mostly, I feel like women don't know about this and we have children, we have babies, we get pregnant, and so I get nervous for a fetus that's in gestation that's probably receiving more EMF than ever in humanity. What are your thoughts on that?
It is a sensitive topic. We don't want, we have never wanted to enter in this field of bringing fear
Yes.
to sell our stuff. It is not our cup of tea.
No.
So I must tell you that, first of all, more and more women are interested in what we do. Actually, 85% of our clients are women. That tells you a lot. Most of them are mothers. And of course, their main concern is either their project to have kids or their kids. And it is true that kids are in a stage of development. It's when the brain is still building everything. It is the most fragile and sensible time. We know that children are more exposed than adults because they are in this development stage. So of course, children are extremely exposed, and unfortunately, the industries is stuffing them with toys, which are wonderful. I use them. My two daughters have tablets, I agree, and they watch it too late at night, but I have my protection to compensate. But yes, of course, the concern is real, and the children are at higher risk, and pregnant women even more, because the fetus is at a very early stage. And all the development of the body is based on cellular communication. And now we know that cells don't only communicate by chemicals, but by electromagnetic fields. The way your cells talk long distance without any contact by electromagnetic fields. So of course, when you are messed up in a man-made radiation, that makes a whole difference. I just want to make a little point. People must get the clear picture of the difference between natural electromagnetic fields and artificial man-made electromagnetic fields.
Okay.
The question is, natural magnetic fields, like from the earth, from your heart, from your body, from your cells, don't have the power to damage your tissues because it's natural. Man-made artificial electromagnetic fields are different because they are polarized. The danger is polarization. What means polarization? It is an artificial technological way to give a direction to the fields. Natural fields go in all directions, naturally, like the waves of the sea. The opposite, artificial man-made electromagnetic fields, because they are polarized, they target specific place, and they can enter deep in the tissues and deep into the cells. That's why they are so dangerous. Mm. So people need to understand this, and I will make a little point. I have heard about people who buy curtains to protect from electromagnetic fields, and I want to warn them, it's not very a good thing to do, because we do need the natural electromagnetic fields of the Earth. And from the Schumann resonance, the atmospheric waves, we need them. Our body uses it to for the biological clocks, such as the circadian cycles, which are sleep patterns. You understand? Right. It means that if you isolate yourself in the Faraday cage because you are afraid of electromagnetic fields, and you don't make the difference between man-made and natural, you put yourself in a trouble, you know. That's why I want to insist, we don't block, this technology does not block EMF. If it would block EMF, your cell phone don't work, you know, of course. So it doesn't block, it compensates the effects on your body.
Because that leads me to how this technology was created, because it doesn't have an outlet. It almost looks like it came from another planet, to be honest.
Do you know what is funny is we go very often to give conference, etc., and after the conference, people come and talk to us, and they make us one reproach and one compliment, and they tell us our weak points. They say, you know, maybe in terms of marketing and communication, you are 20 years behind, but in terms of technology, you are well 20 years in advance of everybody. And I was thinking this 20 years ago, and I thought we will be bypassed by many innovators and things, and to this date, nobody entered really this level of communication with the cells. We are unique.
Right. And I want to talk about that because you mentioned like there are so many EMF blocking devices, and literally like your cell phone doesn't work like that. I've had some of those, and it's like shuts everything down. But then that could also be a problem because you're not getting maybe other ones. So I love that this is still allowing you to receive the Earth's natural electromagnetic frequencies or waves, but then also if there's artificial one, it kind of like mitigates, which kind of leads us to why the name of the company is Comosystems, right? What does that stand for?
I have no idea. No, Julie, I'm sorry. I would like to give you a brilliant answer. It was just decided at one stage. People misspell it. They say Cosmos Systems. Now it's Comosystems. In fact, it's not true. It comes from, we call it CMO. Comosystem comes from CMO. The three letters CMO means compensating magnetic oscillator, which it is a static oscillator because it's water charged with electromagnetic fields, and it's compensating the biological effect. That's why it's CMO. So maybe they have used it to make a word Comosystems, systems from CMO. But I'm not very proud of the name of the company, Comosystem. It has nothing very creative.
Yeah. So I want to ask, so does this expire? Like, how long can I use this for? Do I need to get a new one like every couple of years?
It has no limit. I mean, for your entire life. We cannot prove it because there is only 20 years, 30 years ago, it's there. What we did, we verified a lapse of time of 2 years. It means we tested it scientifically in a university. We tested the strength of the signal and the biological effects, and we recorded it. And exactly 2 years later, we kept the same item and did again the test. There was no even minimal lowering of the effect. And we think it lasts for your whole life. There is no. So that's where it comes to the secret of the company. You know, many people, well, not so many, but let's say many scientists know how to imprint in water, and they know about water memory, but very few know how to make it last.
Yes.
I know lots of scientists who have they use what we call entanglement, which means they can take, for instance, the information of a molecule, like a medicament, copy it, and pass it over to water that you drink. But within 12 hours to 20 hours, it's gone, it's erased. We have found a way. I will not give you the secret, but it's in the programming. We have a lock inside and a lock outside, and so it cannot. There is only one condition where you can ruin the device: temperature. If you go above 65 degrees centigrade, I don't know in you guys in America, in Fahrenheit, how much is it? It's almost like boiling water. If you really, for instance, if you put it in the dishwasher at boiling water, the heat will erase all this information. It will be gone. Mm-hmm. If you freeze it, you will not lose information, but it will be inactivated. And when you take it out of the fridge, it reactivates. But who will put it in the fridge? Who will put it in the dishwasher?
I don't know.
Not many people.
Don't try it. Oh wow! So this is actually really cheap, because this is a lifetime. You can pass this on to your kids, your grandkids. This is wow! I didn't know that.
But sincerely, if you look in a lifetime, if you look at all the kind of pathologies that you can stay away from, I mean, you save thousands and thousands of dollars. So we're not going to sell it on this basis. But it's true, it's a one-time investment. You don't have to recharge it. You don't have to buy refills. So you buy it, you stuck it in the center of your house, on the shelf somewhere, and you have a bubble of protection that covers your entire house and all the people inside. You know, if you have children, I mean, it's a minimal responsible act to do. I think it's a perfect gift for Christmas to offer this to your dears and friends.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect gift for Mother's Day too. Mother's Day is coming up, so I think we're gonna have to air this podcast sooner than later, so that people can get their hands on it. And also I want to mention the packaging, by the way, right? It came in this box that I'm gonna show you. It came in this box, right? With you know how it works. Sorry for the noise. How it works. There's a picture. It kind of tells you where to put it at home, but then it comes in this packaging. And you know, Michel said to me, Elizabeth, it's not a beautiful packaging. I'm concerned.
Oh yes, I went into trouble because I am a little bit the inventor of this packaging, and when I explained to my partners what it was going to be, they were excited. But when I showed them what it was, they told me that's ugly. I said, don't worry, it's not the point. So to explain to you, I hate polystyrene because you find it on the sea everywhere and you cannot get rid of it. You find it in the fish stomach, etc. And it's very practical to englobe an object. So I asked to several companies involved in recyclable packaging, do you have something really 100% natural? And I found this. This is made of corn residue. They use corn. It's 100% corn and minerals, like some sand in it. And the beauty of it, so it doesn't look great, but I find it looks good. I don't know. I like the touch, I like the feeling. It's light, but it's not polystyrene. So when you are finished to use it, you can dug it in your flower, how do you call jardiniere? The flower
garden.
Yeah, you just dig it in the ground, and you can check 2 months later, it will be gone. 100% totally recyclable, and plants will grow on it. It just biologically degrades with microorganisms, and it turns to carbon, water, and sand, let's say, like earth. So it's a little detail, but today it's part of things we must do. So at least I don't have guilt about the packaging.
Yeah, no, it's a great detail. So I didn't plant this one. I did plant the other ones in my garden, which I'm gonna have videos.
So give it 2 months, huh? 8 weeks more or less to be
Eight.
totally biodegraded.
Okay, you guys will see the picture in 2 months. But I saved this one because I wanted to show it on here, and I actually think it's pretty. I think it looks better than the white ones. I think this is like a special touch, and it's very unique. So just like the product. So anyway, so let's go back to we spoke about what beauty means to you. We spoke about how the product works. We spoke about how it's basically indestructible and it's amazing and it's basically a lifetime. So I definitely need to buy more. Definitely going to give you guys a code for buying because I think everyone should have that. And my favorite one is actually this one, the travel one. I feel so safe with this on, and I just feel so happy that it's on there. And I have the one for the phone and my computer, which for me, I think it's made a difference. My inflammation has gone down. But I want to go back to my beauty circle. You know that I have a beauty circle that I created that has 10 different categories, and it talks about all the things that make your life, your beautiful life holistic. So I always ask my guests, where in the circle are you excelling in and where are you needing some extra help?
So where do we excel in terms of beauty? For instance, the two device, this one, the purple one, the one for the house, I think it reflects beauty. The design is really harmonious. It's called Harmony, that's one of the reasons. Same for the traveler, I like it. But since I see more and more women interested in what we do because it relates to a whole culture, you know. Truly, we give lots of information and we respond to people who ask us. But I feel a little bit guilty. I would like to make our protection presentable for women. If you go out, that you could have a nice necklace and a few years ago I talked to my partners about it, and their first opinion was no. They say no, we don't want to get involved in jewelry, and you know, there was a time it was the fashion to buy magnets to put on your body, supposed to have effects, etc. And we did not want it to be considered like this because our technology is a level higher, it's more serious. Right. So they told me, no, Michel, don't go into this kind of thing. Today, I am about to change their mind. I really would like to, you know, for us, you are an experiment. We want to verify that women are interested in hormonal balance and in the awareness of the impact of EMF with hormones. So we shall see the reaction. But if I see women really pay attention, want to know more about it, I promise to work on a project to come with something where we perfectly balance, you know, beauty and fashion, because for now it's still a little industrial look, you know, it's technological and it's not close enough to beauty in the sense of beauty in New York, in the modern fashion.
I mean, I think Paris is one of the biggest fashion places in the world. So but I have to tell you, Michelle, you know, this design and even the gold one, it's very modern. It's very fashionable and chic, and it kind of reminds me of like the future, or it reminds me of like some sort of like ancient Egyptian like something like this, and it's very intriguing and beautiful. So I don't think it's rustic or industrial looking, by the way. It just looks super modern. Like I feel like you guys had like a time machine and came here from like 3020 or something, and you're like, we're gonna stop in 2020, see what's going on there, see how we can help these people.
But you know, honestly, all of our distributors have the obligation to communicate on their sites that if people are not fully satisfied, we reimburse. We oblige our distributor to do so, and we do. And In fact, we don't even have 3% of people returning the device. And sometimes I talk to people and they told me, you know, I'm not sure I believe in it, I'm not sure I feel it, but I'm attracted to, I want to keep it. They don't want to give it away. There is a sort of emotional attachment with it. And it's great, it's perfect, it's better than any explanation, you know. If the feeling is here, well, that helps.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I can't wait to see. Hopefully, you have like a necklace. Like I will show you. I wear this. It's so horrible, so ugly. Um, it's a shungite, and I have it because I can't put this on here.
That's the question. We have so many women asking us to make it smaller, less heavy. Can you have it in pink, etc. So I'm
I don't know
testing.
about pink. I think your gold is nice, or maybe this color, but I don't know about pink. But that's
But
what
I
we're
promise we work on it. But don't ask me to have it tomorrow. You know, this project takes time because we have to verify that the manufacturing process is not damaging the radiative aspect. So it's a slow process. It takes at least a year to get a product out.
Oh man. Okay, well I'm still waiting. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. So what is, I like to ask my guests, looking back at all the things you've done, you have traveled the world. You have lived many lives, right? Now you are helping to impact the world. Um, and clearly you've done this through your therapy, yoga teacher, instructor, helping people return to their state, clearing trauma. Now you're doing this EMF stuff, helping people become more balanced. What is one thing that you would have shared with yourself when you were younger? One piece of advice now that you are here.
Let's say when I engage in this path, I thought it would end up being limited. You know, I thought, well, we're gonna work on bringing a solution to electrosmog, and then what? And I was totally wrong. Today, I have the feeling to be at the beginning of an adventure, and I'm serious. Every day, you know, I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, this social network, where you have lots
Yes.
of professionals, and I discuss with scientists who are very open. You know, they don't ask me to have a PhD or what. They answer to my question, and I discover so much openings. You see, a lot of people like Greg Braden, all these people, uh, talk to you about the holographic universe, and we are getting so fast straight into it. Every day I talk with people involved in quantum dynamics, quantum mechanics, the properties of water, the water in our body, the capacity of water to store information, to communicate with others. Uh, we are really about, within days or months, to prove that all what we considered before magical, in fact, was explainable and scientific, could be proven scientifically. So it's a spiritual path that is self-realizing it, and I see like an acceleration of things. You know, I talked about it at the beginning. I said we have to become more true to ourselves, less artifice, and I think there is this acceleration that we have to become aware. I really feel it's either we become, you know, true to ourselves, and we join wholeness and this holographic universe where we are all interconnected, where we are everywhere at the same time, with no distance, with no time. That's what I live every day. Every day I am into it, and it's a pity I am not 20 years old, because I still have lots of projects. But I would have never imagined I was gonna discover all of this, you know.
Okay. So what would you have told yourself? What one advice that you would have told your 20-year-old self?
To be more patient, because I wanted always instant results, and let's say to have the results we have today, to have this podcast today with you, and to have you showing this item, saying that's fantastic. It took us 20 years to create a culture, because believe me, 20 years ago, talking about this, people were just laughing at you, and there was no awareness, and we understood that. We thought, well, it's going to be a long time before people start to listen. So we created a culture, and the main difficulty was that you can place this in a shop somewhere, people will not jump to buy it. It doesn't relate to anything you want to buy instantly. You have to explain, you have to. So the big difficulty was to vulgarize and to manage to explain to people in simple words something very scientific, very difficult. That was the main work. And if you go on our site, we have lots of explainer videos, which are 3 minutes. People don't read now. They will not read all the scientific stuff. So we made short videos, 3 minutes. They listen to it, and they get the design, the explanation, why it works, how your cells communicate, etc. I encourage them to read it. Just I have two suggestions in terms of readings. If people want to understand better your body, how it relates to electromagnetic fields, there is a book written by Cyril Smith. It's in French here, but The Electromagnetic Man, which I highly recommend, by Cyril Smith. Well, you will discover everything. Gerald Pollack wrote The Fourth Phase of Water. That's where he will explain to you, he's a Nobel Prize, exactly what is happening in this water of your body and its capacity to communicate. So that's a scientific explanation for people who want to go in depth. And generally speaking, if people want to know what pathology relates to EMF, there is a simple internet site called Oscillatorium. They don't sell anything, it's pure information, and it's, mind mapping, what it is? Mind mapping? Yes. You just click on what you want, and it opens, and you can find Alzheimer and EMF, and you find all the studies done with that, hormones, and you find all the studies made on EMF and hormones. I really recommend it because you find very fast all the information you need.
Wow, that is awesome information. I just want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. This was a great conversation, and I hope that all of the women who listen, and guys as well, support this and support the mission, because we really want to get this necklace. So you guys...
We work on it. Just one last word. In the team, we have 2 doctors. And so when, if anybody has a medical question that relates to EMF, I will transfer the question to our 2 doctors, and you will get a professional medical advice or suggestion if needed. This is available to any of Elizabeth's friends.
Thank you. And where can they email? Like, who do they reach out to? How do they ask their questions?
Just write an email. Click. There is a contact form on our site. They just go to biohacking.comosystems.com, and we have a contact page, and it will come to my email box. And we are very reactive. We respond almost the same day.
This is very true. This is how we connected. And we got on a call, and I can't stop talking to you all the time now.
For people who are in the USA, if they happen to want to visit us, we shall be in Los Angeles in October at the 7th annual biohacking conference organized by Upgrade Labs. So it's a place where I will be there, so I can meet with people and explain, answer to any questions.
I'm gonna go.
Okay, I will send you an invitation. A free one.
Thank you so much. So where can we find you? Just at the website? I'll put it in the show notes. Anything else you want to, any closing thoughts?
No, but if you want, I will send you a list of reference. We talked about books, about things to visit. If you want, I will create a little card. If your listeners want to know more about it, so at least you can share with them this information.
Yes.
Okay?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Guys, I am sure that you found a lot of value, and I just want to say thank you for sticking all the way to the end, because I always like to either do a little bit of a summary, or if the guests have given us any codes that we can use, because I have literally harassed them to do so. So thank you, Michel, for the code. So if you are interested in protecting yourself, your family, giving it as a gift, the code is Molina10. And I have to tell you that I have every single one of those things, and I've ordered more. I think that it's so important for us to be aware of what's going on in our surroundings, to protect ourselves, our children, our family. And there's so much that goes into this. And Michel has been so generous with his time. And not only has he been generous with his time and his knowledge, but when you think about all the woo-woo that's out there, and people are talking about radiation or EMF, or what's this radiation smog that's going on, and what does it mean when you're sensitive to all of these things. This is not just like speculation. This company is legit. They have 20 years of research. So you heard it here. If you want more information, I'm going to put some links in the show notes so that you can check out the website, check out the medical studies, and check out the new stuff that's coming out. And again, so when you think about this product, I'm not trying to shove it down your throat, but I do think that everyone in every household should at least have the big gold triangle. I forget the name of it, and that's so sad. But you guys, when you go on the website, you will see what I'm talking about. And people tend to look at the price. You can potentially save on medical bills. What you would save if you break it down, it's less than a cup of coffee a day, and this is going to last you your whole lifetime. So when you look at the price, don't look at that. I actually think it's underpriced, to be honest with you, but I think that you are worth it. I think that your health is worth it, and I think to invest in yourself, it would cost less than a cup of coffee a day for a year for you to get this, and it's going to last you a lifetime. So I highly suggest and encourage every single person to get this for themselves, for their family, for their loved ones, because you won't regret it. And I encourage everyone to look at the studies. I think it is so interesting that Michel brought up the trend of diabetes when you put the chart of diabetes up next to the chart of technology, and when we started to really move forward, and now we have more exposure to EMF and radiation, and how that correlates. I thought that was so interesting. So if you guys are interested in that, I can also link it in the show notes as well. But people, the discount code is Molina10. I will also put that in the show notes. And I'm really like, if you did find value in this, if you learned something, please write a review. Please share this with at least 5 to 10 people. I want to say more, because if you know people who have kids, if you know any women, if you know any men, if you have parents, that's like 20 people that should be hearing this podcast right now. So I encourage you to share it with them and let the research speak for itself. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I hope you learned something different and something new today of value. Bye, guys.